Hi, it's Tom from Lone Horizons. Welcome back. And firstly, I'd like to apologise in advance for what is probably going to be quite a long, slow, rambling episode involving lots of flicking through the rulebook to confirm things I don't know, because it's time to advance our characters from level 0 peasants to level 1 adventurers, which is quite exciting. So yeah, last time we said they would make it back to town safely. They're not going to do a wandering monster check on the way back to town for this first time. And now that they're back in town, they can rest, heal. I don't think any of them are wounded. All the ones that got wounded got killed, or they just got killed in one hit. So they don't need any healing or anything like that. But I don't think they can sell any gear as well. I don't think they've got any loot that they can sell. They've got gold and coins and stuff, but yeah, I don't think they've got anything to sell apart from maybe some of the trade goods that they brought with them originally. So they'll probably buy some weapons and armor and adventuring gear. And also I thought we'd split this in half into 2 episodes probably, because we've got 6 surviving characters. We've got Ugmus, Hiva, Groban, Waltin, Cater and Orsiet. And so because it's probably going to take me a bit of time to level up each one, choosing spells and things like that are unfamiliar to me, I thought, yeah, I'll do 3 in this episode and 3 in the next. So it might not be that long. I'm guessing probably half an hour. Anyway, based on their abilities, I've gone through the list and decided that, well, Ugmus has to be a dwarf, because dwarf is a class in this, not just a race, and he is a dwarf. Hiva will be a thief. Hiva is the smuggler. Groban, the rope maker, he'll be a wizard. Waltin, the noble, he will be a warrior. Cater, the fortune teller, she'll be a warrior. Shame she couldn't be a wizard. I mean, she could be, but she wouldn't be very good because she has no intelligence bonus. And Orsiet, the trapper, she will be a cleric. That would make sense for Orsiet, the trapper, to be a thief, wouldn't it? But she doesn't have good agility, although Hiva is a smuggler, so that's kind of already a thief, really. So yeah, anyway, I've printed out their character sheets, because in DCC all the classes get their own unique character sheet, which is quite nice with stuff. I mean, they do that in D&D as well, but a lot of indie RPGs I've played, they just designed one character sheet and you have to kind of fit everything on there. So to begin with, who are we going to do? We're going to do a warrior, a cleric and a thief. So that we'll say that's Waltin, the warrior, Orsiet, the cleric, and Hiva, the thief. And I thought I'd do the warrior first, because they don't have that many kind of unique things about their class, and they don't have spells. So let's find him. Waltin. Yeah, he was the nobleman. He is a glum nobleman. Most powerful enemy vanquished, giant ferret. And he already has a longsword and shield, so he's off to a good start. So that could be his gear. But before we get to stuff like choosing gear, we've got to level him up. So let's fill in his name, Waltin. Occupation was noble. And it's important to still remember that, because if he does any skill check related to his former occupation, he can roll a d20 instead of a d10. So his class, funny, it says it here, but anyway. Oh, and if you like the idea of colouring in the character sheets a bit, I got the idea from another solo RPG YouTuber called Scutifer Mike. I don't know why he's called Scutifer Mike, but I'll put a link to his channel if I can remember to do so in the description. He plays solo RPGs and he plays one-on-one with his wife as well, and they're really funny to watch. It's a good channel, so I recommend it. He did a nice job of colouring in all the way around his character sheets, but I'm just sort of doing it for color coding, which is fun. Title, I'm not going to bother with the titles for the moment. Maybe when they level up, so if they survive to like level 3 or something, we'll look up their titles, but I'm not that keen on it. It's like every class gets a different title that depends on their level and their alignment, and it changes as they level up. Anyway, for now, we won't bother with that. So Waltin's alignment, what is it? Where is it on here? Neutral. Okay, he is neutral, because alignment in this does have kind of tangible effects to the rules. Speed, oh yeah, that's just 30 feet, isn't it? Yeah, because it's 30 feet for humans and elves and 20 feet for dwarves and halflings. Okay, level 1. I've already filled in the XP. He's got 10 out of 50 XP. Once he reaches 50, he will go to level 2. Okay, armor class, we will leave until he's bought his armor, because right now he doesn't have any armor, apart from he has a shield. Hit points. So, yeah, he's going to level up his hit points by rolling his hit die. He currently has 2, so hopefully he'll get a few more than that. Anyway, let's go to the warrior page. Should have done this first, really, and read out the description for you of warriors. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so I thought we'd just kind of quickly read through most of it. Let's see. You are a mailed knight on a king's errand, a greedy brigand loyal to no man, a wild bare-skinned wanderer with an empty stomach, or a stout man-at-arms armoured by merchant's gold. Of all the classes, warriors have the best attack bonus, the highest hit points, and the most potential for extra attack actions. So a warrior gains 1d12 hit points at each level. Okay, that's good to know straight away. I'll just quickly go through. Well, actually, yeah, let's do it step by step as we reach each rule, because otherwise we'll be here forever. So he has a d12 hit die. That is really good. So I'll roll the green one, which is always my preference for player characters. And this is how many hit points he'll get. 1! Oh my god! That is so bad. That is so annoying and bad, but that's what it says. He gets 1 extra hit point. Oh my god, alright. So, great. Our warrior on the front line of the battles is going to have 3 hit points for this whole level. Okay, so hit points maximum is 3. I'm just going to, I'll put a big 3 there anyway for the current. Alright, great. Well, we're off to a great start, but that's how it goes in Dungeon Crawl Classics, quite regularly actually. Everything basically goes wrong and you just have to muddle your way through. So, weapon training. A warrior is trained in the use of these weapons: battle axe, club, crossbow. Okay, it's basically everything. Warriors wear whatever armor they can find. So, yeah, he doesn't need... there's no kind of like specialized weapon proficiency or anything for warriors, so he can use his longsword that he's got. But I was thinking it might be better to buy him a two-handed sword. That might be quite nice. Because he can use that, and he needs to do a lot of damage because he's going to be on the front lines of combat. But anyway, we'll get to that when we buy his equipment. And okay, alignment. Warriors can follow one of several paths based on their alignment, which in turn affects their title. Royal warriors employed by nobility are lawful, blah blah blah. Okay, but we've chosen our alignment already, that's fine. Alright, attack modifier. This is where it gets interesting, and this is where it gets different to other old school RPGs and kind of more fun. Unlike other classes, warriors do not receive a fixed attack modifier at each level. Instead, they receive a randomized modifier known as a deed die. At first level, this is a D3, which we have here. The warrior rolls this D3 on each attack roll and applies it to both their attack roll and their damage roll. On one attack, the die may give them a +1 to their attack roll and damage roll. On the next attack, die may give them +3. The deed die advances with the warrior's level, so it goes up, like once it's 5th level, they roll a D7 instead of a D3. And every time they make not make a new attack, because sometimes they get 2 attacks and more when they're higher level, but every attack round, every combat round, they roll that deed die again. Okay, yeah, and it says when the warrior has multiple attacks at higher levels, the same deed die applies to all attacks in the same combat round. So then, the really fun thing is the mighty deed of arms. Warriors earn their gold with pure physical prowess. They swing across chapels on chandelier chains, bash through iron-banded oaken doors, and leap over chasms in pursuit of their foes. When locked in mortal melee, their mighty deeds of arms turn the course of battle. A brazen bull rush to push back the enemy lines, a swinging flail to entangle the beastman's sword arm, or well-placed dagger through the enemy knight's visor. So, the way it works is, prior to any attack roll, a warrior can declare a mighty deed of arms, or for short, a deed. This deed is a dramatic combat maneuver within the scope of the current combat. For example, a warrior may try to disarm an enemy with their next attack, or trip the opponent, or smash him backward to open access to a nearby corridor. The deed does not increase damage, but could have some other combat effect, pushing back an enemy, tripping or entangling him, temporarily blinding him, and so on. So that is really fun because it means that, if you play a warrior, if you play a wizard, you get higher and higher level spells as you level up, and they do really crazy, interesting, weird things, and so you're discovering new things to do all the time. But in other old school games, if you play a warrior, often all you can do is attack in combat. You just do the same dice roll over and over again. But in this, you can do a mighty deed of arms every time you attack. There's no limit to it, which is really good. It sounds like it would be unbalanced, but often in DCC, fights are unbalanced in the favour of the enemies, and you have to just use whatever you can against them. Okay, so he will have a mighty deed of arms, and does he have a deed die written down on his character sheet? Initiative, action dice, attack, crit die, crit table. That's interesting. Melee attack, melee damage, missile attack, missile damage. It doesn't seem to. Okay, so I'll just write down here then. Deed die 1d3. Oh, and the attack bonus where we'll write that. That is kind of the plus. We'll put plus 1d3 attack, I guess. We'll put that there, but there may be an additional attack bonus to add to that. See, this is why it's going to be a bit of a rambling episode, because this is me learning along with you. If you haven't played this either, I mean, I've played it, but not at level 1, only level 0. Okay, so the deed die is 1d3, blah, 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 blah. So if the deed die is a 3 or higher and the attack lands, so the total attack roll exceeds the target's armor class, then the deed succeeds. If it's 2 or less, or the overall attack fails, the deed fails as well. So you have to be successful in your attack roll, and your deed die has to be a minimum of 3 for the deed to work. Okay, so then critical hits. In combat, a warrior is most likely to score a critical... a warrior is most likely to score a critical hit and tends to get the most destructive effects when they do so. A warrior rolls the highest crit dice and rolls on tables with more devastating effects, so we won't be rolling on that level 0 1d4 table anymore. In addition, a warrior scores critical hits more often. At 1st through 4th level, a warrior gets a crit on any natural roll of 19 to 20. So, do we write that down here? Yeah. Oh, yeah, crit die. Crit die? Does that just mean... I think that just is where you just put 19 to 20, right? Unless it wants you to write down what die they roll. I guess later on, as they get more powerful, they may roll a higher die for criticals. So I'm going to put... crit die will be 1d20 to begin with, because it's the same as the attack roll die. I'll put down here crit die. Oh, not die. Crit range is what we want. to move that. Quick range, 19 to 20, because other classes, I don't know about all of them, but most classes only crit on a natural 20, like in D&D. Okay, so the threat range increases to 18 to 20, blah blah blah. It gets better. We'll check that out as we level up more. So initiative. A warrior adds their class level to their initiative rolls. That's good. So let's see. What? Oh, I haven't put down his stats in here, so I'll do that too. Here we go. So strength 9, agility 11, stamina 8, which is -1 modifier, personality 12, intelligence 10. Oh, these two, luck and intelligence, are swapped around on these two different character sheets. I printed these out on card because I thought it might make them last longer if we're going to be rubbing things out a lot. So his luck is only 6, so he has -1 luck modifier, and intelligence 10. Okay. So his agility, he doesn't have an agility bonus, so that doesn't add extra to his initiative. So for initiative, that is going to be 1d20 plus 1. Unless we give him a two-handed weapon, and then his initiative die goes down to 1d16 instead of 20, because he's slower with a two-handed weapon. Anyway, luck. At first level, a warrior's luck modifier applies to attack rolls with one specific kind of weapon. Oh, and his luck modifier is negative. Alright, well, we'll just pick a weapon that he's not going to use, I suppose. This kind of weapon must be chosen at first level, and the modifier is fixed at its starting value. Neither the weapon nor the modifier changes over the course of the warrior's career. The weapon type must be specific, longsword or shortsword, not swords. That's really weird, isn't it? Because it's not like what's it called, weapon focus in Dungeons and Dragons or something, where you can pick a type of weapon that you've got special training in, and then you add +1 to your attack roll or something. You're just stuck with whatever your luck modifier is. So it makes sense for me to choose a weapon type that he's not going to use. That's a bit weird, I think. So how about darts? I guess just his weapon modifier, attack modifier for darts is -1, and we're never going to use darts. You know what? I'm just going to not even bother writing it down. It's a bit of a weird rule. We'll just kind of forget about it. And he doesn't have an agility modifier anyway, so he's probably not going to be using ranged weapons that much anyway. Okay, so action dice. A warrior always uses their action dice for attacks. At 5th level, a warrior gains a second attack each round with their second action die. That's really nice. So action die, I believe, is 1d20. Like, everyone starts with a 1d20 action die. Alright, so yeah, and then it has a section about mighty deeds in action, and this is like from playtesting the game before they released it. They wrote down like what some different players used the mighty deeds for. So they did things like, when hurling flasks of burning oil at a giant toad, the warrior aimed for the toad's open mouth to throw the oil down its gullet. Probably do more damage. And then I thought this one was interesting. I'm not going to read all of them, but when facing a carven image with eyes that shot laser beams, the character used a mace to smash out the carved eyes and thus disable the laser beams. So that's not even really in combat, is it? Because it's not a monster that's attacking you. It's just a carved image on a wall or something, like a trap in a dungeon. But you can make an attack against that with the deed, mighty deed of arms, and use it in that situation as well. So that sounds good. All right, yeah, and then we've got some info to write down on his character sheet. So yeah, his attack bonus is going to be plus 1d3. But, oh yeah, and he has no strength modifier to add to it. I wonder, do they add their level to their attack bonus? I don't think they do. The warrior's attack modifier is rolled anew according to the appropriate die with each attack. The result modifies both attack and damage rolls. Okay, so that means, his attack bonus is plus 1d3, and his damage, melee damage, is going to be plus 1d3 to whatever he does with his weapon. So I'll put plus 1d3 there, and then I suppose for missile damage that would be plus 1d3 too. Okay. Melee attack roll, will that just be... Yeah, that will be plus 1d3, won't it? Attack modifier, just the d3. They don't add their level or anything like that, so it's going to be different each time. That sounds quite fun. So that's plus 1d3 there. Missile attack will be the same. So I'm writing really badly tonight. Let's try and do this a bit better. Okay. He has no agility modifier either, so yeah, that's fine. All right. So what was on that table? Let's see. Crit die and table. So level 1. Oh, crit die is 1d12. Oh. What does that mean? Oh, you roll 1d12 on that table, that means. Okay. So that's what crit die means. All right. See, we're just learning as we go. Just rub out that 1d20. 1d12. And it's crit table 3. There we go. And then, threat range 19 to 20, I wrote down. I don't know why they didn't put that on here. Action die 1d20, I wrote down. And saving throws, reflex and fortitude plus 1. So what are his down here? They were -1 and -1. So that's great. That's going to help him. Reflex save plus 1, fortitude save plus 1. Will save 0. Okay, lucky roll. I don't know what that is. Oh, maybe it's it's this actually, isn't it? Lucky sign, maybe. Struck by lightning, reflex saving throws -1. Oh, that's a shame. So his reflex, I forgot about that. So I'll write that down here. Struck by lightning. They all have something weird that happened to them in life as a peasant. Reflex save -1, which does something to them using their luck modifier, and unfortunately he has a negative luck modifier, so his reflex save is going to be 0, +0. So he'll just roll the die straight to do a reflex save. Alright, is that his character sheet stuff taken care of? Yeah. So then we could buy him some gear, I suppose, which is page 68 if I remember correctly. Here we go. So I was thinking we could get him a two-handed sword instead of using his sword and shield, because why not just, like, it's only 15 gold pieces and they got rich in level 1 of the dungeon. What have they got? I've separated out all the silver pieces and electrum pieces. Oh, and we had people die as well, didn't we? So we can say they looted their stuff, I think. I think it's fair to say that. And I'll deal with that at the end, sharing out the dead people's gear. Anyway, he has 625 silver pieces, which is 62.5 gold pieces. And he has 6 electrum pieces, which is worth, I think, 60 gold. Oh, I've got it on this page. So 10 gold pieces is 1 electrum piece. Yeah, so yeah, he's got quite a lot of gold there. So two-handed sword is 15 gold, and then he could get something like chainmail, I think he'd be able to afford. So let's buy that for him. Weapons. Two-handed sword. And that means his melee damage will be 1d10. But remember, because it is two-handed, he now will roll a d16 for his initiative, not d20, because he's going to be a bit slower than everyone else getting ready for combat. 1d16 plus 1, okay. So he's got a two-handed sword. He owns a sword, and he could feasibly bring the sword with him as a backup weapon, but we're going to have to decide how we're doing encumbrance, like what rule we're going to use for encumbrance, because let's discuss this for a second. In the rules it says encumbrance: a character who carries too much weight is slowed down. Use common sense. Players must explain how they're carrying their equipment, which hand holds which weapon, which sack or backpack contains which objects, and so on. A character carrying a substantial ratio of their body weight is slowed to half speed. A character cannot carry more equipment than half their body weight. But because there's no GM in control of the game, there's just me, how will I decide, how many coins? Can one person carry 1,000 coins plus some weapons and I don't know, some loot? How will we do it? I want to be consistent about it and not kind of hand wave it away every session. So we're gonna deal with that later. So for now, I could say that he just sells his sword, maybe, or what I could do actually is just make a note, like party gear, rather than sell the sword now and then realise that maybe one of the other characters could use it instead. I will just put longsword and shield in a list there, and then they're available for anyone else, and then we'll sell them at the end if no one takes them. Okay, so yeah, we dealt with his weapon. I was going to buy him armour. Let's have a look. We could even buy them missile weapons as well in case they need them as a backup, but let me just check the armour. Here it is. So let's see. Chainmail is 150 gold, banded mail is 250 gold. And he has got 62.5 plus 6. So that is 68.5 gold. Oh, so he can't afford that. All right, because I shared out all the thing. What can he have? Scale mail, that's 80 gold. Can't afford that. He can afford hide armor. Well, this is kind of fun anyway, because if they could all afford the best armor at the start of the game, then they might be sort of too invincible anyway, and it might not be fun. So we'll try and get as much loot to sell as possible and then upgrade our armor as we go on. So hide armor gives you a +3 armor class bonus, -3 armor check penalty, doesn't do anything to your speed, and you roll a d12 fumble die, and it costs 30 gold pieces. Okay, so that would mean, hang on, where is his treasure? Here. That would mean he's now got like 32 gold pieces. I'm going to write, let's say he gets change in the shop. So he now has 32 gold pieces, 5 silver pieces, and he's still got the 6 electrum pieces. I wish they had like a money section on here or something. That would be good. Okay, so his armor class, he doesn't get an agility modifier to it. Unarmored is 0, so his armor class is going to be 3. So yeah, you get ascending armor class in this. Oh, here's the armor box. So we'll put... Well, just hide, it's fine. There we go. All right, and what was that stuff it did? So check penalty is -3. Do I need to write that down somewhere? Armor check penalty. Is it gonna affect him? He's not a thief. Oh, there's critical threat range. Okay, so right, 19 to 20 there. The lucky weapon, that's the dart thing, but it's really an unlucky weapon for him. So I'll just put darts there, but it's -1. Add class level to initiative and mighty deeds of arms. Oh, okay. So that's confusing. I'll double check that later, whether you need to add your level to your mighty deeds roll as well. I didn't realize that from the rulebook. Anyway, equipment. He does have some stuff at the moment. He has a parchment and quill that he picked up from the elven sage who was killed, or elven scholar. So why don't we just take this stuff with us, because you never know, they might need it. Parchment, quill. He's got a gold ring worth 10 gold pieces. Because he's a noble, I think he wants to keep that. I'm gonna put that here. Gold ring, 10 GP. I don't think he would sell it so he could buy more armor. I think based on like role playing him, I think it would be important to him to keep it. He has a crowbar. Yeah, let's give that to the thief. I'll put crowbar in the list of gear. So when we're outfitting the thief, she could take that. Although, if he is a warrior, he's the stronger one. So maybe he should have the crowbar actually. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, what else is there? Rations ×4. I haven't even really thought about rations much because they were only in the dungeon for a couple of hours, or maybe 2 or 3 hours when we did that delve, so it wasn't very long. It wasn't long enough to get hungry. But let's put it down anyway, because they might at some point, fall down a hole, like go into a trap and fall down a hole and then be stranded on a lower level of the dungeon and have to work their way out, which might take ages. So you never know when rations might come in handy. What was that? 4 rations, yeah. Rations ×4. And a large sack. Oh, instead of the sack, we should see if he can afford a backpack, because that would just be better. Backpack, 2 gold pieces. Yes, let's get him one. So now he's got 30 gold pieces. And he has a backpack. So that's what he's keeping all this stuff in. It was in his large sack before. I think he's just going to bin the sack. A shop wouldn't buy a grubby old sack from an adventurer. So he just bins that and puts on his backpack. Should I get him anything else? Lantern, but he's got 2-handed swords, so he can't carry that. Hand-sized mirror costs 10 gold. Iron spikes for jamming doors shut. That could be useful. 1 silver each. Let's get him like 5 iron spikes with his 5 silver pieces. So I'll just rub that out. Wonder if he needs a hammer. A small hammer, 5 silver pieces for banging the spikes in under the doors. So iron. You don't get much room for equipment on here. Iron spikes ×5 and hammer. Shall we make him use a hammer, or could he use his 2-handed sword, the hilt of it, to just bash them in? We'll say that. I think that's that's fine to say he can do that. All right, flask of oil maybe? Maybe the others should carry them because he's not going to be great at throwing things anyway. Okay, and then something that might be fun to get later on, once they've got a lot of loot, could be the mounts, like a donkey or something, pony, a horse, saddle packs, saddlebags for storing stuff in, to help them transport loot back from the dungeon could be good. But I think that is him done. I will draw a picture of him at some point, not right now. Lucky roll, I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, languages, he speaks common. And there is a rule about gaining more languages at level 1, but I don't know where it is now. I think it said for every 1 point of intelligence modifier, you get an additional language at level 1, but he doesn't have that anyway, so that's fine. So he just speaks common. The other thing to note is that he's male. I'm just going to put that there, M in brackets, and he is glum. That was the random personality trait we rolled up for him. So I need to put this here. Glum. So Waltin the glum noble warrior. So he's going to be, he probably sees himself as a kind of knight type figure. He's neutral, he's not lawful, so he's not a kind of questing knight, but I think he wants to sort of bring balance to the world through mighty deeds of arms. And so I think that's gone on long enough. We only managed to do 1 character, but it's just fun. It's just fun taking a bit of time out and leveling up each one as we go, spending time on them, because it's part of the game anyway. It's part of playing the game. It's in the rules. The last thing I need to do is write down the most powerful enemy vanquished, giant ferret. So let's put that up here. Most powerful enemy vanquished, giant ferret, and we'll update that as we go. Alright, so anyway, I hope this was entertaining and interesting to watch. So next time I think we'll probably do the cleric. So I will see you then.